Hi guys! Today I thought I'd take advantage of this sunny day and repot my lemon trees. Now the short backstory to these lemon trees is that I planted up a whole bunch of lemon seeds from a lemon that I used in cooking, and I gave them to my sister and to a friend, and their lemon trees grew huge. And mine I had outdoors and they didn't like coming back in, so they ended up dying. But I started these again probably about 8 months ago, and they're looking puny, and I'm thinking I need to give them a bigger pot to grow in. And this is sort of just seed starter, so it's pretty devoid of any nutrients. So just kind of a peaty mix, and it's just not doing that well. They're living, but they're not thriving. So also citrus are by nature an outdoor tree. If you're in a climate that doesn't get cold, they grow outdoors. So I'm thinking it just needs a lot more space. So I'm going to bump it up in a huge way and put it in these terracotta pots, and I hope that they're happy for a couple of years in here. But for the soil mix, I'm going to be using some potting soil in here, and it looks very peaty. I'm kind of down on peat. It's bad for the environment, and also it has a tendency to sort of harden up as it ages, and then I think it's very hard for the water to penetrate to the roots. So I'm going to loosen this regular potting mix up with a lot of oyster shell grit. I've been using this in all of my plants. I won't use quite as much as what I do for the cactus, but I think all plants can benefit from good aeration in the soil, and plus the calcium that leaches in every time you water it. There's a little bit of calcium that's released. So I'm going to add that into my potting soil. And the other thing is, hearkening back to the idea that lemon trees are really an outdoor tree, is I'm going to try to lift this heavy bag. I'm going to use the Miracle-Gro potting mix for outdoors. It's an organic blend, and it's just a heavier soil. So I think this mixed with the oyster grit will be nice and well draining, but at the same time this probably has more nutrients than just your regular indoor houseplant potting mix. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a few handfuls of that. I did forget to bring scissors out, but I'm going to give this mix a try. I think giving it better soil and giving it bigger pots is really going to help. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. And I'm working fast. It is in the 50s, which lemon trees can take, but I really don't want them to be outside too long. So I'm going to try to make fast work of this. So this bag has been outside and is very, very wet. And I'm not wearing gloves, but I don't mind. I like to get dirt in my hands. That's how we gardeners are. We thrive on that. So I've got a nice bit in there of the organic potting mix for, it says it's for containers, vegetables, and fruits. And since lemon trees are a fruit, that sounds good to me. And then I'm going to add a bunch of my oyster grit. Trying not to breathe the dust, but I'm going to mix that in. And hopefully this is going to be a mix that my plants will be happy in and start taking off and catching up to the plants I've given it away. I have given away to other people. Don't you hate it when that happens? You give some plants away and then those plants do much better than the ones that you have. I've done that with cuttings too. I've shared cuttings and then someone else does a much better job with them. So I'm not really bitter, I'm just joking, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. Let me know if that's happened to you, where you've shared a plant and those plants just like your friends better. So here we go. Yeah, I think my sister said her lemon tree was already about 3 or 4 feet tall. So I'm even wondering if she'll get some lemons, which would be wonderful. So I think I have a nice mix here. I let my lemon trees get dry. It's just easier to handle when they are dry, when you want to repot them. Move that out of the way. So let me just take this one out of its pot, and I'll let some of that original soil fall in. So you can see it has a root system, but you know, it's not so impressive. Hope you can see that. But I'm giving it all this room to spread out in. So let's go ahead and put some of that in. Sometimes putting the old soil, unless you have a bug problem, sometimes putting that old soil in will help that transition process, because it's used to being in that soil, so it's a little less of a shock if you add some of the old soil in as well. But right away, I'm loving how this is looking around the roots. I feel like it's going to really do so much better. And I'm just tucking that down in there firmly. And that's okay, because remember, I put in a lot of that grit. It's going to have great aeration. And I'm going to hold off on watering these in just because the soil, the organic container mix is quite wet. So I don't think I'll need to water that in. I'll just resume a watering schedule. There's plenty of moisture. I'll resume that water schedule next week when I'm watering the rest of my plants. So here's one done. And let's start with the other one. Let's check out this root system. Okay, yeah, very puny, not much going on here. But you know, and let's be honest, I haven't given it a lot of space or a lot of nutrients. So let's go ahead and take care of that. Don't worry, little plant. We're getting you all squared away here. And I'm going to feel very good about this. Hopefully, if I give you an update next year, you'll see some major growth. We'll see what happens. The other thing is I have moved it to a window where it gets lots more light. I mean, these are plants that grow in the Florida heat and sunshine, so I think I need to do a better job with the light situation as well. So between giving it more light and these fresh new pots, wish me luck, guys, and let me know if you've started any citrus from seed, or even if you're growing one that was started for you, and just let me know about your tips on how to have successful lemon trees indoors. I just think it's fun to grow anything from seed. Oops, now I'm unearthing it. I want it to start out by growing straight. Okay, feeling really good about this, guys. But thanks so much for tuning in and for being my plant friend, and I hope you have some of these to enjoy. If not, put a little seed in some soil, but maybe start out with a bigger pot. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.